Right, as it's the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday with an England football match, I don't expect anybody to actually come and watch the live, but it does mean that the draw is captured. We have 31 pairs in the doubles draw this year, doing 4 venues, 3 venues of 8, 1 venue of 7. 2 pairs will be going through from each venue. Matches will be 7:30 start times. In terms of how I'm doing the draw, I'm doing the wheel as usual, but I will also be filling in my track as we go. Some rules down the bottom. There next to me is a landlord, will be at the fountain. Much like the singles, Dave Holland, to ensure that the table is ready and in the right place, will be running the plough. And as Tom Hadler is unable to be there because he's on holiday, we will be asking Jordan to make sure the monument's set up as well. So those 3 venues will be locked in. The 4th venue being the 4th venue, which will be the 2 brewers. I will do the draw. If Dan, Dave, or Jordan will get drawn at one venue, they'll move into the next slot in the next venue available, and that will lock those ones in. So let's go with that draw. So here are the names, 31 entries, usual wheel, off we go. So that was Michael Terry and James Hollis. I'm just going to fill these in as I go. Takes a bit longer, but then you get to see all of that stuff as well. See at least a couple of people watching. Next up is me and Mark Faulkner. We are somehow the reigning champions. Michael Brown and Del Philpott from the Fountain. One of quite a lot of pairs that actually come from 2 different teams. Dave Moulding and Gary Luton, and there's my spelling mistake that will always happen. There's Chris and Graham. I'll probably leave filling in that spreadsheet just to speed it up. And just work out which venue's which at the end. There's Pete and Tony, Monument B. With Martin Jocelyn and Basis from the Power. Not that many Division 2 pairs this season. Happens every season. As always, if we could ever get 16 pairs from each division, we would do a split draw. It's never happened for the doubles. There's Vinny and Sean, the Archers A. I understand from speaking to Ross in the week that the Archers is getting very close to opening. They are putting wet lines in later in the month, and just putting some finishing touches in. I was lucky enough to actually play in there about a week or so ago. Tables are fantastic. A couple of pinch points on 2 of them, but it's better to have 6 tables than 4. and the venue that's really good. Mr. Rutter and Mr. Menin from Swelcliffe. Ben and Chris from Canterbury, predominantly, playing for the Plough in Whitstable League. There's Muzzer and Colin. Good to see Colin back playing in the Whitstable League. I know he had a couple of seasons away. There's Darren and Jordan. They're the 13th name out of the hat. Means they're in the first group, which means that first venue will be the Monument. And I've no doubt Darren will be late. He's always late. There's Michael and Jack. Is Mr. Exley and Martin Rosier. So the third venue is the Fountain. Just means that if Dave Holland comes out in venue 1 or venue 3, we'll move his name. Neil Harvey, Dan Hunt. Dave Mark from my team. I plan to do 2 players through from each venue, by the way. So some of these draws could lead to some quite interesting matchups. There's Cameron and Charlie from the Fountain. Callum and Dwayne Savage. They'll be pleased that their first action in the Whitstable Pool League, I think, might be at the Fountain. Rupert. Darren Jacob from Archers Dean. Colin and Chris from Swelcliffe. Garrett's the Dean. Other name could see Neil Garrett back playing. Mark and Chris from the Monument there. 6 pairs left. There's Nicky D and G from the Monument A. There's Dave and Charles. Dave venue there is venue 3, so he's going to switch with whoever comes out next, and he'll go here. So now we're into the 3 venues that need the extra player. Andy and Andrew, father and son team from Swelcliffe. With Marv. And then last out will be Dan Tuck and Kev Salisbury from the 2 Group B. If I do what I did last time, I'll just add a tab and we'll go and look at these venues. So as mentioned, we need to switch Dave and Charlie out. Bring Richard and Anthony in. Just with the Soras draw, obviously I'll send out the official draw later. So the first venue, and this is the Monument. Andrew Beaumont, Mark and Chris, Barry and Jacob, Dave and Mark, Darren Jordan, Martin Russ, Chris and Graham, and Michael and James. Venue 2, which I think is the 2 Brewers. Interesting looking venue. You've got me and Mark, Pete and Tony, Adam and Ian, Michael and Jack. There's quite a few interleague players in this little venue here. Nick and G, Colin and Chris, Cam and Charlie, and Mick and Marv. Venue 3, this will be the Fountain. We've got Michael and Del, Martin and Dave, Ben and Chris, Dan and mine, Callum and Dwayne, Neil and Chris, Gramo and Anthony, and Dan and Kev. And then the final venue, venue number 4, which is going to be the Plough. Dan and Gary, Vinny and Sean, Muzzer and Colin. They'll probably get switched, by the way. Neil and Dan, Nick and Rupert, Billy and Ben who play out the Plough, and Dave and Charlie who obviously also play out the Plough. So I'll get this all typed up. As mentioned, I will probably have to move these 2 to another venue, but I'll switch that around with someone else shortly. That concludes what I wanted to get done, and I'll get that all out to everybody later. Next up for one of these will probably be the handicap or the quarterfinals of some of the knockout events. Throughout.